The emergency alert blared through every ship in the United Earth Defense Fleet. Red lights flashed across control panels, not that anyone else could see them. I pressed my hand against the cold viewport of the flagship Chromatic Dawn, watching as thousands of Zenthian warships emerged from hyperspace, their gunmetal hulls blending into the darkness of space. Each vessel carried enough firepower to level a small continent, and their reputation for showing no mercy had spread across 12 conquered star systems. Captain Chen, they're charging weapons. Lieutenant Rodriguez's voice cracked with tension. All ships reporting hostile lock-ons. I closed my eyes for a moment, letting the weight of humanity's secret rest heavy on my shoulders. For centuries, we'd hidden our unique ability from the galactic community. No other known species could see color. They perceived the world in varying shades of gray, like an old black and white movie. We'd kept this difference hidden, fearing discrimination or worse. Now that same ability might be our only hope for survival. The neural implant at the base of my skull tingled, connecting me to the ship's systems. Through it, I could see the tactical overlay that only human crew members could fully appreciate, a symphony of colors that told a story of impending doom. "Send the signal," I ordered, my voice steady despite the fear churning in my gut. "Activate Project Rainbow." Across our fleet, hidden emitters hummed to life. What happened next would either save humanity or doom us all. 3 months earlier, I sat in a stark conference room at United Earth Command, listening to Dr. Sarah Mitchell's presentation with growing disbelief. The holographic displays showed spectrum analyses that meant nothing to our alien allies, but told a striking story to human eyes. Dr. Mitchell wasn't what most people expected when they thought of a brilliant physicist. She wore her gray hair in a messy bun, and her lab coat was adorned with patches from various space missions. The coffee stain on her sleeve spoke of too many late nights studying the very thing that made humans unique. "The data is conclusive," she said, gesturing to graphs that painted a picture in more ways than one. "Every species we've encountered processes visual information differently than humans. They've evolved to see in grayscale, while we developed trichromatic vision. This isn't just a minor variation. It's a fundamental difference in how we perceive reality." Ambassador Cuthricks of the Galactic Council clicked his mandibles, a sign of confusion in his species. His crystalline exoskeleton would have been breathtaking in its iridescent beauty, if only he could see it himself. "I fail to understand the significance of this research, Doctor. Mitchell, how does this variation in perception affect our current crisis?" The crisis he referred to was the Zenthian Empire's relentless expansion. They'd already conquered 12 star systems, their superior technology and ruthless efficiency, making them nearly unstoppable. Their ships used advanced cloaking systems that made them invisible to standard sensors, and their weapons could tear through our strongest shields like paper. Dr. Mitchell smiled, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "Because, Ambassador, we've discovered that their cloaking technology relies on manipulating light frequencies in ways that only affect grayscale vision. To a human eye, their ships leave a distinctive chromatic signature, like a rainbow fingerprint in space." She pulled up another hologram, this one showing a Zenthian battlecruiser. To the alien diplomats, it appeared to fade into perfect invisibility, but to human eyes it blazed with subtle patterns of color, like oil spreading across water. The room erupted in murmurs. I leaned forward, my mind racing with possibilities. "Are you saying we can see their ships even when they're cloaked?" "Better than that," she replied, tapping commands into her console. A new simulation appeared, showing a complex network of colored energy fields. "We've developed a way to use this difference against them. Project Rainbow is a defensive system that creates complex color-based interference patterns. To non-human eyes, it's completely invisible. But to us, it creates a network of visual markers that can guide our weapons with perfect accuracy." Admiral Zhang, a veteran of 3 major space battles against the Zenthians, stood up so quickly his chair toppled backward. Why wasn't this discovered before? We've lost millions of lives to their attacks. Dr. Mitchell's expression sobered. Because we've been hiding this ability for so long, we never thought to look for military applications. The first human explorers who made contact with alien life noticed the difference in perception, but they kept it secret. They feared that being too different might make humanity a target, or worse, a threat to be eliminated. I understood their caution. Humanity's history was full of examples of differences leading to conflict. But now, those same differences might be our salvation. There's more, Doctor. Mitchell continued. We've also discovered that the Zenthians' targeting systems rely on grayscale contrast detection. If we can deploy our color-based interference patterns correctly, we might be able to blind their weapons completely. The implications were staggering. For the first time since the Zenthians began their conquest, we had a real advantage. But using it would mean revealing our closely guarded secret to the entire galaxy. Ambassador Keithrix's antennae waved thoughtfully. This could change everything. But the Zenthians are not known for their mercy when they detect a threat. If we deploy this technology and fail, then humanity falls, I finished for him. And after us, the rest of the free galaxy. The weight of the decision settled over the room. Dr. Mitchell's discovery could save us all, but it meant trusting that the galactic community would accept our difference rather than fear it. In the weeks that followed, we prepared in secret. Every human crew member had to be trained to use the new color-based targeting systems, while maintaining the illusion of normal operations to our alien allies. Dr. Mitchell worked tirelessly to refine the technology, pushing herself to the limit. I found her late one night in her lab, surrounded by holographic color patterns that danced like aurora borealis. "Beautiful, isn't it?" she said without looking up. "All these colors that only we can see. Sometimes I wonder what other secrets the universe is hiding from us, or what we might be missing that other species can perceive." "Do you ever regret discovering this?" I asked, watching as she adjusted the patterns. "Knowing that we're about to change everything?" She finally looked at me, her eyes tired but determined. "Captain, when I was a little girl, my father took me to an art museum. I remember standing in front of a Van Gogh painting, Starry Night, and asking him why we had to keep our ability to see its true beauty a secret. He told me that sometimes being different means being careful, but he also said that there might come a day when our difference would be needed." She gestured to the swirling patterns around us. "This is that day, Captain. We're not just fighting for humanity anymore. We're fighting for everyone who can't see what we see." Now, as I watched the Zenthian fleet bear down on us, those words echoed in my mind. The emitters activated, filling space with an intricate web of colored light that was invisible to every species except humans. To our eyes, it was like watching the aurora borealis spread across the stars, streams of red, blue, and green energy creating a complex targeting grid. "All ships, this is Captain Chen," I broadcast across the fleet. "Human gunners, you have weapons free. Use the color grid for targeting. Everyone else, maintain defensive positions." The Zenthians fired first, their energy weapons lighting up space. But thanks to the color grid, we could see exactly how their shots traveled, allowing our ships to dodge with unprecedented precision. Then we returned fire. Every human gunner in the fleet could now see exactly where the Zenthian ships were, cloaked or not. Our weapons found their marks with devastating accuracy. Ship after ship erupted in explosions as we exploited our evolutionary advantage to its fullest. Lieutenant Rodriguez worked his targeting station with almost artistic precision, his hands dancing across controls as he used the color patterns to predict enemy movements. "Captain, their formation is breaking. They don't understand how we're tracking them." The Zenthian commander's voice crackled over the emergency channel, their tone shifting from confident to confused. "How? Our cloaking technology is perfect. Your sensors shouldn't be able to detect us." I opened a channel to respond. "We don't need sensors. We can see you just fine." The battle lasted less than an hour. When it was over, the mighty Zenthian fleet was in ruins, and the secret of human color vision was out in the open. The aftermath changed everything. The Galactic Council chambers were packed as I testified about humanity's unique ability and how we'd used it to defeat the Zenthians. The revelation sparked a wave of scientific interest across the galaxy. Dr. Mitchell's presentation to the Council became the most watched broadcast in galactic history. She explained how human color vision had evolved, how it affected our culture, and how it had shaped our development as a species. For us, color is more than just different shades of light and dark, she explained to the assembled representatives. It's an entire dimension of perception that adds depth and meaning to everything we see. It influences our emotions, our art, our technology. Even our languages have words for colors that have no equivalent in other species' vocabularies. The questions came rapid fire from representatives of every major species. Is this why human art seems so complex to us? Does this affect your emotional responses to visual stimuli? Could this ability be artificially replicated? But it was Ambassador Keithricks who asked the question that would shape the future of interstellar relations. How do we move forward knowing that one species experiences reality so differently from the rest of us? By embracing our differences, I answered, standing beside Dr. Mitchell. Humanity kept this secret out of fear, but look what happened when we finally shared it. We didn't just save ourselves, we saved everyone. Imagine what other discoveries we might make if we all stop hiding our unique traits and start sharing them instead. The ambassador's antennae twitched thoughtfully. Perhaps this explains many things about human art and culture that we found puzzling. Your species' obsession with visual aesthetics goes beyond simple light and shadow. The discovery led to a renaissance in interspecies cooperation. Human color vision became a valuable asset in everything from space exploration to medical diagnosis. We developed new technologies that could translate color information into forms other species could understand, while they helped us enhance our other senses to compensate for areas where human perception was weaker. The Zenthians, humbled by their defeat, eventually joined the Galactic Council. Their cloaking technology, combined with human color perception, led to breakthroughs in stealth and defense systems that benefited all species. Their scientists worked alongside Dr. Mitchell to develop new ways of understanding different forms of perception. 5 years later, I stood on the observation deck of the Chromatic Dawn, now serving as a training vessel for a mixed crew of humans and aliens. Below us, Earth spun slowly, its blues and greens a sight that never failed to take my breath away. Dr. Mitchell had joined me for the graduation ceremony of the first class of the Interspecies Perception Academy, a new institution dedicated to studying and sharing the unique sensory abilities of all known species. Captain, a young Zenthian cadet, approached us, their silver scales reflecting the starlight. I've been studying human color perception, and I have a question. When you first saw our ships through the cloaking field, what did they look like? I smiled, remembering that first moment of discovery. Like oil on water in sunlight, I explained. Shimmering with colors that shifted and changed. Beautiful, really. Even if we were enemies then. The cadet made a note on their tablet. It's fascinating how something we thought was our greatest strength, our cloaking technology, was undone by an ability we didn't even know existed. Do you think there are other differences between our species that we haven't discovered yet? Dr. Mitchell answered before I could. We've already found several. The Arcturians can detect quantum fluctuations naturally. The Meridians can sense magnetic fields. Even the Zenthians, we've discovered, can perceive subtle variations in gravitational waves that no other species can detect. That's why we created this academy, I added. Each species brings their own way of perceiving and understanding the universe. Together, we're stronger than we could ever be alone. The emergency alert system tested itself, cycling through colors that only human crew members could see. It was a reminder of how far we'd come, from hiding our differences to celebrating them, from facing extinction to helping forge a stronger galactic community. As I looked out at the stars, I thought about how something as simple as the ability to see color had changed the course of history. It wasn't superior technology or military might that had saved us, but rather a quirk of human evolution that we'd once hidden out of fear. Now it served as a bridge between species, a reminder that our differences weren't weaknesses to be hidden, but strengths to be shared. The universe, I realized, was like a vast painting. Each species could see different aspects of it, and only by working together could we appreciate its full beauty. As humanity took its place among the stars, we brought with us not just our ability to see color, but our willingness to share what we saw with others. In the end, that made all the difference. "Ready for the next training exercise, Captain?" Rodriguez, now a commander and chief instructor at the academy, asked from behind me. I nodded, turning away from the viewport. A group of cadets from 12 different species waited eagerly for their lesson, each bringing their own unique perspective to the stars. "Let's show them what we can all see together,"